Hey guys, welcome to the final video of the completion run Act 9.3.6 Science Gate. The defenders are going to be Unstoppable Colossus, Gladiator, Hulk Ragnarok, Mangog, Knull, and Werewolf by night. And the boss is not going to have any trap nodes, so you will notice I've given you some counters that I think will work super well. And my boost and masteries, well, you could go ahead and boost well for the path, but no boost is required for the boss. And yes, you will need relics for this path, so make sure you equip them. And the best counters are going to be your non-slow unstoppable counters. So anybody with grit, anybody with halt, and anybody can remove the unstoppable quick is going to work well. Apart from that, slow debuff champions can also work, but there's a slight caveat to it. I'll explain you later in the video. And your Fate, Seal, Stagger, Neutralize, and Buff Immunity champions are also a good one. The first fight is going to be against an Unstoppable Colossus. All the defender here in this path are gonna be going unstoppable. There's a very nasty Mangog and also a very nasty Werewolf by night, so make sure you bring in some good counters for them. Now this path is all about two things. One is to manage the unstoppable from the defender and also from the node. The node is buff toggle unstoppable, so every 10 seconds there will be a 2 second of unstoppable on the opponent. And the second one is a combination of nodes. You will notice that your spirit gain meter just fills up on its own, and the way you reduce that meter is when you parry the opponent. The goal here is to never let your spirit meter go to full, because you will be rooted in your place, you will be special locked, and you will be striker locked for 2 minutes, and you'll be just stuck there, and you're going to stay stuck there until after 2 seconds you are going to use a striker. So that is going to be a problem. The best way to deal with that is just keep using parry in between. Every time you parry the opponent, your spirit gain meter will go down. But there is another problem here. There is a node here with the immunity cycle. So every 15 seconds, you are going to cycle between slow immunity, heal block, and stun. That is going to be on the opponent. So that's why slow champions are not the best option. They can work, but when the slow cycle comes up, the slow is going to be debuffed, is going to be removed. So that's why it's important to bring in non-slow champions that can work. Now on this first fight, I'm using a sentry here and I'm just spamming my SP1. Now what the SP1 does is applies a halt debuff on the opponent, and I can bypass all the unstoppables. Now easier fight would have been if I brought in a mystic champion that can just buff immune him or can fade seal or stagger him so it doesn't get the unstoppable, but I'm showing you all different options that can work. Sentry is a really cool option. I'm not playing him to his full potential with the heavy attack spam and everything. I'm just trying to keep him to an SP1. And you notice that I'm not letting my spirit gain meter get full. So whenever it's about to get full, I just start doing 3 or 4 parries and try to keep it down. There you go. So you will notice the spirit gain meter is just filling up on its own. So this is going to be the challenge in this fight. Don't let the spirit gain meter go full, otherwise it's going to be a problem. And if you don't bring in a striker, you are going to get damaged 2% of your HP every second, and you're gonna die within 30 to 40 seconds. So you have to be careful about that. You have to equip your strikers, and you have to bring in champions that can deal with the unstoppable. Otherwise the fight becomes super annoying. So 2 things to take care about. One is your spirit meter. With the constant spirit gain, you have to use your parry so you can reduce the spirit meter. And then the other one is going to be managing the unstoppables from the defenders. So this node is going to be against a Gladiator this fight. I have brought in a Wiccans. Now this is an example how you can use Fate Seal and how you are able to bypass the unstoppable. Although Gladiator SP1 unstoppable cannot be removed by Fate Seal, but that's okay, we can do the remaining. So I've just brought in a Wiccan. All I did was started with a medium light combo, and I did the neutralize. Then I usually go for a heavy attack, then I go back and dash back and hold my block, and once that is done, then I go into 4 hit combos into SP1s to make sure that the neutralize is up for a longer time. The whole thing is here that you have to ensure that the Gladiator does not spam his SP1s. He is quite annoying, to be honest, sometimes, I'm not gonna lie. But if you can manage that, keep him to an SP2 and evade that, this fight is much easier to deal with. You can also bring in other champions like Nico Minoru or Black Widow Clairvoyant or Hood. All of those champions should do good on this fight, because as long as you have the neutralize or Fate Seal stagger up on the opponent, you should be able to bypass the unstoppable. One good thing, all of these unstoppables are going to be your are going to be all active, so you can kind of remove them. They are not passive ones. So having that out of the way, again, I will just repeat about the spirit gain. You have to keep your spirit gain meter down. It's paused when you're using a special or when the defender is using a special, but every now and then use a parry and you can reduce that meter. Remember that the defender is going to go through immune cycle and where he will be immune to stun. So during that, you can just try to parry. He will not be parried, but you can do well-timed blocks, and that will also remove that spirit gain in the spirit meter. And yeah, that's about it, guys, on this fight, actually for the whole path. But I'll still go through some of the fights that are really annoying to deal with. Again, this might not be the easiest path, but I went for the easiest boss that does not have any trap nodes, because if this is your first time you're going to attempt Dread Emperor Doom, you need to go through a path where at the end there is no trap nodes. Now the next fight is going to be Hulk Ragnarok. Is a super easy shield fight. You can also bring in Shang-Chi. To be honest, any champion that has grit or halt can work. I would not recommend Mystic champions here, because you know how Hulk Ragnarok is. He's, I think, immune to all of that. So you need somebody like Shield, or you need somebody like Dust, or even Beta Ray Bill should also work here. Anybody with grit should do good, or halt passive. But I'm bringing in the Shield because Shield does extra damage to Gamma Champion, so she is like the perfect counter. Not only for Hulk Ragnarok, you can run the whole path with Shield. I'm trying to showcase different champions on this video, so that's why you will see I'm using all different ones. So just make sure your grit is up when the Unstoppable is going to be active, and the Bleed should be enough to take away Hulk Ragnarok. Now this next fight is so annoying. It took me forever to take Mangog down. It wasn't the difficulty of the fight, is him throwing the SP2s and going unblockable. So this fight is really nasty. Now if I do this path again, I would not bring in a Sentry. I would bring in a different champion. Maybe I will bring in a Dust here, because she will do good. You can spam all of those specials and you can deal quite a bit of damage with that. So I might use Dust if I have to do this path again. Sentry is a good option also, but then again he takes forever because his damage is very less, even with the relative warp charges. And also I don't play him to his fullest potential. I don't throw those heavy attacks when needed, so that is a shortcoming on my gameplay. But then again, you will notice throughout this fight I'm going to struggle a lot, but in the end I was able to bring him down. So I just left it in the videos to give you guys like an idea how this fight would go. But if I have to do this fight again, I think the Mystics will not work against him mostly. Science champions with slow might work, but then because of the slow immunity, the slow will be debuffed. So I think the best champions are going to be champions with grit, and I think Dust will be an amazing counter for this fight. So I'll leave you to it for this fight. It's a long one. I'll jump on to the next one. So finally, after bringing that tanky Mangog down, to be honest, I brought in Wiccan for this fight, but then I thought, you know what, Absorbing Man can also do it. Now, Absorbing Man has that ability where he can reduce the time on the Unstoppables, and you don't have to worry about the defenders going unstoppable. Once that is out of the way, all you need to do is to manage your spirit gain meter, and then also use your charges and get to an SP3, get those crits on you, and then you can finish off this fight quick. Don't worry about taking damage because you are anyway going to heal up with the medium light medium combos. So Absorbing Man, to be honest, is a great counter for the whole path. So you can use him. I think except for Hulk Ragnarok, he should work well. I think he should work against Hulk Ragnarok as well. So Absorbing Man is going to come in clutch. I wish that they bring in a 7-star version of him. He will be nuts. So yeah, just like that, I'm able to bring Knull down because I have my SP3, also my cruelty buffs on me. All I'm trying to do is to throw my special once, and just before we know it, he is down to 1%, and boom, he is out. So in hindsight, a better option would have been Absorbing Man. Now this is going to be the most nastiest fight because of you have to parry him because you have to reduce the spirit gain meter. You cannot let the spirit gain meter go full. But then whenever you will parry him or he will hit you in your block, you will gain ruptures. So you need to have a slow on him or something that counters unstoppable. And at the same time, you need to have cleanse as well. That is going to be super important. Now I tried to do this fight with Shang-Chi. I really struggled and I think I die here. So I had to come back with the most obvious counter is either Sentry for this fight or you can use Shield also. Remember that you can always do backdraft intercepts on Werewolf by night, but eventually you will have to face you will have to parry the opponent to keep your spirit gain meter down, because if the spirit gain meter goes up to 100%, you're going to be rooted in your place, you're going to be power locked, you're going to be spirit locked, and also you will not be able to move until you use the striker. So just like here, I am locked with everything. I have to wait out for 2 seconds before I can use a striker, and once I do use a striker, I get out of that crazy route, and then I'm able to do some damage. So at this point I've given up because all of those ruptures are just crazy and damage. So I just threw my SP2 here, deal as much of damage as possible. Now I don't have slow on him. So this is the actual struggle. If you bring in a slow champion, it's hard for you to deal with the unstoppable because when the slow immunity comes in, the slow will be debuffed and you will die just like this. So I had to come back from Shield, and Shield is the perfect counter because she has cleanse. She can remove all of those crazy rupture damage that Werewolf tries to apply on you through the debuffs, and also she also has grit, and she has all of those bleeds, so she can really get through the whole path on her own, except for the fights that are bleed immune. I mean, she can still do it if she's duped. She does extra crits, but yeah, she is probably the best option. If I have to pick a team again, I would go Dust, Shield, Absorbing Man, Mojo, all of these champions I'll bring in. I'll get through the path much easier, but I had to show you different options, so that's why I brought in all the team. And now welcome to the first run through on the live server. So this is going to be phase number 1, a Dread Emperor Doom. Here your goal is to remove his will charges that you see underneath the green underneath his health bar. There are 99 of them and you have to bring them down to 0 so you can take away 33% of your health. If you're unsure about this fight, I will leave a link in the description. I've done a full breakdown video. Check that out and let me know if you have any questions in the comment section down below. So there are 2 ways you can remove the will charges. Number 1, if you knock down Dread Emperor Doom with your special attack, that removes 4 will charges. And number 2 is whenever Doom will activate a special attack, he gives you 2 opportunities to attack him within the special attack. So you will have to attack him, and every time you do that, you're going to remove 3 will charges. Now remember though, whenever he throws that SP1, he's going to activate that aura of Ouroboros, and when that is active, you cannot block him, and also you cannot knock him down except for an SP3. So keep that in mind. Now it's very important for the will charges to be removed during the special attack is Doom needs to have amplify charges on him. So phase 1 is not really difficult because as soon as he triggers an SP1, you will notice there are amplified charges that activate on Dread Emperor Doom, and I can use them to remove the will. But that will become more prominent in the other phases. So in phase 1, just push him to an SP1, let him throw that SP1 out, and you go ahead and you do the evade pattern. So let's look at it together. Let me push him to an SP1 again and wait for the SP1 for him to trigger, and then dex dash dex dash dex. And that is how you're going to go through this. You have to make sure that you understand this one. You can make mistakes on the phase 1 because here you're not going to die with Baptism of Doom, and because it's only on knockout hits where you're about to die, the Baptism of Doom activates. So this is a good place to learn your SP1 dexes and the patterns to it. And every time you try to attack Dread Emperor Doom, when during his special attack and he has amplified charges, you will remove the will and you have to bring it down to 0. So currently he's at 1 will only, so I am just trying to knock him down, remove those charges, and boom, he's down to 0. He's gonna take 33% damage, and we're gonna go into the next phase. Now in this next phase, everything remains the same. The biggest difference is you have to knock him down for him to gain amplified charges. Notice that he gained 4 amplified charges when I knocked him down. Now he's going to use an SP1 and I'm going to do the same pattern. So waiting to trigger it out. Dex dash dex dash dex. And I go back in. Now I have to knock him down again. So this is the challenge in this phase that wasn't there. So another way you can do that is you can push him to an SP2, but let's look at the evade on this one. Let him trigger the SP2. Dex, dex, dash, dex, dash. And while I tried to use the hits during the special attacks, look at the will down to 75. Now, you might ask why I'm using North Star. North Star, in my opinion, is going to be a great option here because he has 3 hits in his first medium. And the Doom will lose the will for every hit attempted. So is a quick succession of 3 hits and you can remove 9 will in one go. So that is going to be super helpful. So again, SP2, removed all the will. Now the Aura of Ouroboros is not active. So remember, Aura of Ouroboros only activates when Doom is using a special 1. So you have to keep a good balance of the SP1 and the SP2. Don't trigger more than 4 SP2s, otherwise you will get to an SP3 and he will kill you off. So what I like to do, I like to use both of them in unison, so I can manage the Aura of Ouroboros, and I can also knock down Dread Emperor Doom with the special attack. Not only that will remove 4 will charges, but that will also give him amplify for this phase. So here we are, down to 11. So let's check it out again, pushing him to an SP1. He still doesn't have amplified charges, so I have to just get through this special attack. Now I have to knock him down. Now this is going to be a tricky one because there is only 1 SP2 remaining on him, so I cannot give him an SP2 right now. So I'm going to push him to an SP1 while I have my striker, and then I'm going to use my heavy attack, and now wait for the SP1. Dex, dash, dex, dash, and dex. There we go. Will charges down to 0, and he's going to go into the next phase. Now this phase is going to be the most tricky one. The only way Doom is going to gain those amplified charges that are very important to remove his will is when he uses an SP2. So you have to deliberately push him to an SP2. So when he uses that SP2, he's going to get those amplified charges, and then you wait for him to throw a special attack, and then you can remove the will charges. So here we go. Dex, dex, dash, dex, dash, and dex. So when he uses the SP2 for the first time, he will not gain that much will charges. That is okay. Keep pushing him to an SP2. The more SP2 he uses, the more amplified charges he will gain for every missing charge on Countdown of Doom. If Countdown of Doom I've not explained to you, it is the countdown to the how many special 2s he can use. So you can see that with the gray icon just underneath Doom's health bar. So right now there are 3 available that he can use. So my goal will be not to let him use more than 4 SP2s. So how does it work? So whenever he does not have amplified charges, push him to an SP2 and push him to an SP2 and evade that with the pattern. Now when he does have extra of those amplified charges, then you push him to an SP1 only. Now he has 9 charges. I'm just going to keep him to an SP1 now until I remove all the will. There you go. 3 more remaining, and now he's done to 1 will charge. Now the problem is I cannot push him to an SP2, because I push him to an SP2, he will go to an SP3 because there will be 0 charges and he will kill me off. So the only way now I can remove the final will charge is by using a special attack. So I'm going to run this timer out on the Aura of Ouroboros, let him come use a heavy attack on me that I'm going to evade, and I'm going to go back in and then try to push him to throw another heavy attack, because I have to get to my special attack without him using any SP2 again. So that was the tricky part here, but I was able to manage that. And now with the final SP1 knockdown, I'll be able to remove 4 will charges, and that is going to push him to phase 4 at 0 will charges. Now for phase 4, it's going to be the same thing, but only thing here that you don't need to worry about amplify. Doom is going to gain amplify on his own every 2 seconds. So the best way to deal with this phase is to just keep him to an SP1. It's very easy for him to go to an SP2 here, because the amplify charges increase his power gain. So you have to like constantly bait the SP1s, and then you do the same evade pattern. So let's check it out again once more. It's got an SP1. We're going to bait that. He's being a little stingy. Sometimes this can happen. Dex, dash, and dex. And he's down to 57 will charges. That's all you need to do. And if he gets to an SP2, that's fine as well. But don't give him more than 3 or 4 SP2s. Otherwise, that's going to be a problem. If the countdown goes down to 0, he gets an SP3 and you are dead. So in this phase, I just like to keep him to an SP1 only, because no matter how much amplify he gains, North Star has 3 hits, so he can easily remove 6 of those amplify charges in one go, and the meanwhile you can push him to another SP1 easily. So yeah, that's about it guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and you found it helpful. Remember, when the will charges are depleted down to 0, you have to knock him down with a heavy attack, so you can save a striker for that. So then he will be knocked out. There will be a slow-mo in which you will see that you are able to knock him out. So if you want a more breakdown, check out my video on the channel. I will also link it at the end of this video. This is just a quick run through. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and congrats on your completion. I'll be back for all of those exploration videos. So here we go guys. I hope you all have an amazing day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.